Hey Mark, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. We've been
So
doing all the stats.
yeah, we've been on a roll. They're they're not that great for May. Let's kind of hope some, you know what I mean? There's lots of optimism out there, especially by agents. Let's discuss that for a few minutes before we dig in about, this 25 basis rate decrease. I mean,
Yeah, they're all on Facebook posting like happy emojis and everybody's dancing around and it's Christmas
yeah.
and
What do you
it's
think?
bull crap.
I agree too. There's just way too much, there's just way too much inventory out there. The sentiment, it will help the sentiment, but I don't think it's gonna do like everybody thinks it's gonna do.
It
So
doesn't approve people for a lot more. So
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. What the celebration is that I think is that now some of these variable rate mortgage holders have a bit of could say, okay, that's one. More good things to come in the future.
well, it signifies that maybe we're on a downward trend,
Oh, it does for
which
sure.
gives hope.
It is. And for anybody who wants more information on that, we just did a video on the Bank of Canada's announcement, and we talked about the decline of rates in certain years. I think it was 2025, 2026. It's below 3%, I think 2.75. That's when sellers can be dancing.
Yes.
That's because that's going to drive people back. But
It's gonna take
once
years.
it's gonna take a year and a half, right? Maybe two, right? I mean, I know what I would do if I was in the mortgage position in doing that. I'd be going variable all the way because these valuations on homes are going to become higher once we see more. It's going to tick right up. And my belief is, of course, everyone will leave a comment saying otherwise, but please do that. I think we'll go back to 2022 pricing by 2025 in that range, probably halfway through that quarter. We'll
It's gonna
start.
go up. I don't know how much, but it's gonna go up.
Oh yeah, especially from a building sector supply standpoint. That's the only reason, right? Limited supply. A lot more people are going to be open up affordability for ranges. There's still a lot of people out there right now, Diane, that want to make a move, but we have too good of a mortgage product. We're not going to make it right now. Let's make it when
Well,
rates come.
listen, the other thing, Mark, and this is what's driving me bonkers about these people saying prices are going to bottom out and keep going down. The builders, it costs so much to build a house.
Yes. Yeah.
They can't go like you can't go and sell them for $500,000. It costs them more than that to build.
Yeah. I know. That's the thing. That's not.
So where do these people and the government's pushing for more housing, builders build, 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 build.
Yeah.
Well, the prices are going to be high
Oh, 100%. 100%.
because they have to be.
100%. That's
So
not
like that's going to keep the resale market up too.
100% of this. 100%. Right. We're
They
seeing.
want me to pull up our condo numbers.
Yeah, let me, before we go in that, pull them up, but we're gonna go through the condo numbers. What did we see? How much percent down? 30? Let me just get this written down here.
No, it was
31% decrease in transactions compared to last year. 31% transactions decrease. So before we dive in and we're gonna go through some numbers, we've been seeing double-digit decreases, in the condo market for some time. Well, I shouldn't say that because I think in April we saw it pretty flat. So it's
yeah.
good. But it's like everything else. We've seen some strong decreases in the freehold. I think in Barrie was 22%. So condos are still there. And I made some notes as we go through some ranges because there's some pretty high common fees. I seen one common fee that I wrote down. I want to talk about, and maybe we'll pull up the listing if we've got time. It was $1,700 common fee. That
Not
Marina Bay.
on White Oaks.
No, this was on Marina Bay at 65 Ellen Street.
Holy crap.
$1,700 in condo fees. So we are still seeing some good, okay sales in a sense but most of those sales are coming from
Oh, sorry. This was 75, wasn't it?
uh let me see. Yeah. So sales last year was 75. So 206 active listings, 52 sold, 75. I'm going to just do the percentage on that. Sold last year. So, it's
Yeah, we're down again.
we're down, right? And so if I punch in for percentages, so out of the 206, 25% of the condos are selling in today's market. 75% aren't. That's a big number. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I took some time doing these numbers, some of these buildings are astronomical condo fees. I almost fell off my chair when I saw the one for $1,700, and I made note of it. We'll talk about
Well,
it.
I was just shocked here that like where we have the most inventory, of course, we have the most sales,
Yes, yes,
but we still don't have a lot of sales considering how many actives there are.
I know. Well, 25% of the market's selling, and it's taking double digits, triple digits when we come down to the some in the 7 to 8 range, like that comment you put in there. Both 2 units sold in that range, and both were from the same development at Nautica. It took over 6 months and multiple price changes for those units to sell.
Well,
So
you know what else too? So there were 2 or 3 developments that are brand new that speculators bought. So like Lake House, Young Street, Spice Way.
Mhm.
So we kind of seen, I think maybe an influx in listings too, because all of a sudden all these newer buildings are here.
We did, but those are where the sales are coming out of though too. There's still some listings in there, right? But before we go on that, let's go through the ranges and then we'll hop into the discussion because I think we're getting to get off track.
Okay, so sold 9,
Yeah,
active 14, 3
right.
to 400, but there's not a lot at that range anyway.
There's not a lot of range in my notes there. Yeah, 9. Mainly Bell Farm sold, right? Some lower price condos, of course, in that range. So the ones that are sitting down are more higher common fee buildings, older buildings that are sitting.
Yeah,
So surprised. 4 to 500, a bit more. Look how much the inventory jumped up by
I
100 grand,
see that. Yeah.
right? So, 17 sold out of 56. Let me just do some calculations because it just takes seconds
Well, between the 4 and the 600 is 116. Like that's half of our inventory just at that price range.
Right, right. And that 4 to 5 range, 30% of, and I want people to listen to this because they're at the range, only 30% of the inventory is selling and the other 70% is sitting. You have to ask yourself why, if you're a seller today in the condo market, why is mine selling? And I've said this before, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say one more time, then I'm done, is that we see consistently in this marketplace, whether we talk condos or whether we talk freehold, that we see, oh, that one was listed at 5, I'm going to make this up, 499. There's our number. But we're not looking closely enough, right? We're not looking at why isn't it selling? What's the problem with it? Oh, 99% of the time it's going to be high condo fee, or maybe it's presentation, or, maybe it's staging, or maybe we're too cluttered. Really take the time and analyze the market and this data and make decisions off that. Don't go follow what everybody else is doing because it's proven it isn't working. Like I'm telling you, we're seeing more sales last year, big time. And I should have did that for these ranges because I sold some last time in this, 675 to 7 range. Yeah, it started off pretty strong, and it was May, June-ish, I think it was. It sold, but more came on, but they were selling. So, don't go off actives, go off solds and analyze it. I'm done.
Well, and not only that, like I went to a listing appointment last week and it's for a townhouse. And there's 2 or 3 that are basically comparable at 649, but they've been there for months.
Yeah, so the
So
649.
I told them there's no point in going at 649 because we already know it ain't selling at that.
And then how are we going to improve that unit that you're going to list? So it shows better than what the other inventory goes. One, price, sharpen the pencil on price.
Well, they're doing the fix ups now, right today,
Right,
as I
right,
talk.
right. So that's key. And then those people that put the extra work into to pricing it properly for today's market, not tomorrow, or what I paid for and I'm losing money. I need this. But the presentation is important. The buyer's got a lot of choice out there. Look, 75% inventory is not selling. Buyers have a lot of choice in the condo market today, and they're proving it, right? They're
Well, and
waiting.
they're being really, really picky. Like if your view sucks,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. 5 to 6 range. Let's go 21.
21 sold, 60 active.
So 35% of the inventory.
Well, this is what's scary to me, the 6 to 700.
I know there's a lot of inventory and 35%,
35 and only 5 sold.
right? So 65 is sitting there. That's a that's a lot of inventory, right? And there's tons of it. And it's
Yeah,
mainly,
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's horrifying.
let me go to my notes on that range because I made notes on that range. Shoot, let me just go back. Yeah, yeah, and so far in that range too, right now, as of today, of that 60 listings, 2 are conditionally sold as of today. So,
Mhm.
yeah, we're only June, what, 5th? Still 6, sorry. 2 sold so far, conditionally, not even firmed up yet. So I would be a little concerned on that, right? The way the numbers are.
Mhm.
So,
7 to 8, we got 2 sales, 12 actives, and they were both in Nautica. And
yeah,
over 6 months, it
with
took to sell.
multiple decreases, multiple decreases in that range, right? So that's the thing. So, in that category, it's 12 listings, correct, right now, yes. And where I'm seeing the bulk of that price point in a few buildings, Nautica and Lack House. I call it Lake House, whatever. So that's the concern. 2
Okay,
buildings have
well,
inventory.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, you know what else is funny, Mark? So in the 8 to 9 and 9 to a million, we have no sales. We have 10 listings total, right? 9 and then 1 from the 900 to 1 million.
No sales.
No
No.
sales. But in the 1 million, over 1 million, last month actives, we had 12.
Right.
We have
Right.
18 now.
Right. 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 So in
So we
one,
got more active. We got, you know what it is? It's all those in Lack House that came up.
it is. It is. And it takes, and there's some nice units. I've seen them. There's some nice units there, but you're dealing with a whole different demographic too,
Yep.
right? You think you'd want to be going and having a big fat mortgage on $1 million unit, 1.2, 1.4 in some of these ones? Not in your life. Plus a common fee, common element fee.
No.
Forget
And
it.
I told you last time we looked at Lack House, and we're going to have to do another video. There were
Yep.
6 or 7, and I counted, I think, 10 or 11 today.
Yeah. And there's a few, yeah. In the beginning of what, March, April-ish, we'll say, we've seen some 1 bedroom and den units like mine sell relatively okay, right? They sold within, say, 35, 40 days, right? Summer wasn't here. You put that unit on the market today, and the way the weather is, and sitting on a patio and having a cocktail or two, you would get a little bit more money, but it's more of affordability range for most. When you move up to that bigger unit and fuller scale and 2 parking locations and some with bigger balconies, some not, they're not jumping through the roof to get into them. And there's some nice units in this building. So that inventory is sitting, plus the inventory on the city side is not turning either very, very well. I
No.
still feel there's not a market. I think there's a market there for it, but not at the high prices that it is. Because if they can, you think about it, that city side in that, we've seen some 799, 734, I think in the 760 range, they can go over Nautica and get a 2 bedroom and get a water view. So I think if someone's paying that, I know where I'm going to Nautica because
Yeah.
I can get a bigger unit and I have some water views where they just are looking, across the road, or some are looking east and west, but not full water views. So that's the troublesome. I want to go back for 1 second to that 7 to 8 range for 1 second, because that range, there was the unit at 75 Allen, unit 1704. So I think it's a penthouse. The fees were $1,748 a month. That is insane.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I've never seen it. Again, you don't see a lot of those units come up.
You sure like they didn't mess it up?
I didn't really go into details, but at the price point, it's probably a fairly big unit because the valuations are a lot lower than other buildings. I don't know if they had a couple parking spots and their square footage is there. No, because the a 1 bedroom condo fees in that building are 6 and change, high sixes. Yeah, so I could see it. I really could see it. So
Wow.
I want to mention that. And then the million and over range, that was 1 Grand Cayman that sold. And that was on the market 72 days. Nice unit. And they usually sell pretty good in that building. It's
I
nice.
know everybody wants the Grand Cayman.
Right. It's a really nice unit, right? Like 1,834 square feet, dynamite,
Yeah.
dynamite. So, yeah, so we give some information to sellers what to do. Don't look at active so much and price them to what actively is listing. Look at the days at market a little sharper and adjust your price point. Did you?
And if you really want to sell and you see two or three that are exactly the same as yours, same size, same, comparable, go under the price a bit. Like
You're
if
gonna
it's been
have to.
you have to. If it's been sitting there and it's not selling at that price, you're not
100%.
going to sell it at that price either.
No, and when I listed one in the gallery last year, they were listed at some were 750, 7.25. There was 3 or 4 competition. My client painted everything, changed the light fixtures, door handles, dressed it up a little bit. We need to be 699 because look at the days on market. Let's
Yeah.
not follow the herd on this because we're not getting another. We sold ours relatively fast. They were still sitting. After a month or so, they kind of chiseled down. And then so someone 699. We dropped it to 6. Did we get 6? No, we didn't drop. We left it there. We got 675. That's decent. That's what the unit was there. They
Yeah.
wouldn't get 75 that unit today. They wouldn't.
No.
They wouldn't. So I think we covered off some good information, gave some good points.
Yep.
Okay, so anyone wants to
Like,
yeah, hit the like, share button, and subscribe for more information. But if someone wants some honest evaluations, call us. We'll give them
yes,
to you.
you
Okay,
might not like it.
I'm not gonna like it, maybe, but you're gonna get the transparency and truth. I don't
Yes,
anything. So,
exactly.
all right, see you.
See ya.